Hello, everyone. What started out as a normal school day ended in death for 19 children.
Motor vehicle accident involving a bus.
You see them there and then they disappear.
Like, that's it. I lost my friends.
I don't think the community of Alton ever wanted to be known for a bus accident.
Then why am I here?
I remember the loss of that day.
This did happen. It happened to our kids at Mission High School.
The question, of course, is what exactly happened at 7:40 this morning when the bus fell into that leaky pit?
Hello and welcome to Remembering the 21. I'm Marco Ramirez. It was 35 years ago when one of the worst school bus accidents in Texas state history took the lives of 21 junior high and high school students, and it happened here in Alton, Texas. I'm standing along the intersection of Bryan Road and 5 Mile Line, where it was here on September 21st, 1989, where a Dr. Pepper truck ran a stop sign and hit a Mission CISD school bus packed with students, causing it to fall into a caliche pit full of water. With the bus completely submerged, it became a living nightmare for those students on board as they scrambled to get out. This all happening while parents and school staff watched helplessly as first responders try to rescue everyone. During this special report, we will be taking an in-depth look at this tragedy. We'll hear from some survivors and those who were the first on the scene. We'll also look over the litigation that followed this crash and how school bus safety has changed because of this. Now, here in the very spot I'm standing in, a memorial now remains to remember the 21 young lives that were lost. The caliche pit's located right behind this, and it's now surrounded by fencing and guardrails. And while it's been 35 years for the entire Alton community and those who survived that bus accident, it seems just like yesterday.
Buenos dias, Cynthia. Buenos dias, Alex. Buenos dias, Virginia.
It was a Thursday. So it was towards the end of the school week, and everybody's looking forward to, the weekend and looking forward to Football Friday, and so it just was very busy.
Good morning, Roman. Buenos dias.
Kids loud, everybody yelling, screaming, tirando papeles at each other, airplanes, that kind of stuff.
Pauline, buenos dias. Buenos dias, Carmen. Good morning.
I had kind of my shoulders to the window, but, we talk and I'd look this way out the window and, just chit-chat, look out the window, and my best friend was sitting in front of me.
At the end of the route, once we picked up the last set of kids, immediately after that is when the accident happened.
All of a sudden you feel these, like a skid. We're like, what the hell? I freaked out, hey, ¿qué onda? Hey, what's happening? What's happening? He's braking because he's noticing the Dr. Pepper truck.
It just seemed like it was coming really fast. And I actually said it, to myself. Well, I actually said it out loud. I said, that truck's not going to stop.
I don't remember whether I heard something or not, but I realized that we were not facing the right direction.
He passed us, hits us, boom. The fishtails hits the bus like this, and we're going straight like this on Conway. It was directions straight like the Dukes of Hazzard, and it's a caliche pit, but there's no guardrails, no fence. You're in the wire, you're gonna go down. We didn't know that there was water.
You saw the sky, you saw the wall of the pit, and then you saw the water, and then you just saw nothing.
I realized that I was underwater, and it was really dark, it was murky, and it seemed like the seats were floating, the bus seats were floating in the water.
So everybody's scrambling to get up to the other windows, and those windows have latches, and if you don't snap it and hold it, it's gonna lock on you, ta, 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 So we're doing all that. I grab it, fras, I grab my sister, I'm the guarda, that was a nickname. Guarda, Bruce, so I grab her, right, boom. I pull her up, right, she gets to, by the time she's up like that, the water's already coming up towards me.
And I just heard somebody calling me, Gorda, Gorda, and I sounded like in a distance, like far, far away, and I was like, I'm dead. And I felt like I opened my eyes. I don't know if I opened my eyes, but I felt like I did, and it was just white. And then I saw a hand extend out to me, and I thought, I'm going with God.
I just thought I wasn't gonna make it anymore. And I started to pray. And then I also started to try to breathe air from my hands. I did that twice, and I drank a lot of water. I took in a lot of water. So eventually I didn't think I was gonna make it. So like I said my prayers. I thanked God for the life that I'd had, and I surrendered at that moment. And almost instantaneously, my neighbor pulled me out by pulling me from my hair through the window.
So I grabbed myself and I pulled myself out, and then I grabbed whoever's coming up next, right? Boom, we pull him, and then we're running, trying to snap open the window. You see faces on the windows, you know, like trying to get out. So we're holding our hands like this to go, or move this way, get on this one. You're not counting how many people you're taking out. You're trying to get everybody as fast as you can, because you see them coming out, breathing, throwing up, falling. You see them there, and then they disappear. That's the one that got me.
You know, you could hear sirens and everything. You could see people throwing down hoses, water hoses, and, you know, stuff like that, and just people crying, yelling.
At some point, I got tired and just decided that I wasn't gonna wait for them to come for me. And even though I didn't know how to swim, I thought that I could make it from the bus to the edge of the pit where the wall meets the pit. And I just threw myself in the water and I swam over there and made my way to the edge.
The families are coming. You hear the mothers, they're crying. Junta, Michelle, junta, you know, it's chaos. And you can't. I mean, you don't wake up thinking, I'm gonna save people today, I'm gonna be in an accident today. It's something that you don't expect. You know, I mean, nobody ever expects to wake up and to be in an accident and to see your friends die.
I honestly never thought in my wildest dreams that anybody was gonna die. I mean, then why am I here? I just thought, no, that's not true, that's not true.
Hello, everyone. What started out as a normal school day ended in death for 19 children. A school bus loaded with teenagers plunged into a caliche pit filled with water. Passers-by jumped into the murky water to try and save those helpless students. This is the worst school bus accident in Texas history. The big question, of course, is what exactly happened at 7:40 this morning when the bus fell into that caliche pit?
81 students were on board Mission CISD's bus number 6. At 7:34 a.m., bus 6 was traveling west off a 5-mile line after picking up the last of its students. At the same time, a Dr. Pepper truck owned by the Valley Coca-Cola Bottling Company was being driven by Ruben Perez. Perez had just completed his first delivery at a Circle K near that intersection and was traveling north on Bryan Road. As both vehicles approached the intersection, the Dr. Pepper truck hit the school bus after not slowing down for the stop sign. The truck hit the left side of the bus, which caused it to veer off the road and plunge 24 feet into the caliche pit. The bus lied on its side in 10 feet of water, trapping the students inside. By 7:40, the first officer from Alton Police arrived on the scene and was soon joined by other police officers. The Alton Fire Department, the Lago County Sheriff's Office, and numerous other agencies from across the valley joined to help rescue the students who were trapped inside. Some students managed to get out of the bus on their own and try to free others. 19 students died on the scene. 2 others died 8 days later, bringing the total death count to 21. For the students who managed to survive the horrible ordeal, it left them forever traumatized.
When I was doing my homework, I started crying. Everything that I'm doing, I always say to the clouds and say, why God? Someday we'll just forget what happened.
But no matter how hard everyone wanted to forget that day, that never happened, especially for those who were the first ones on the scene. We spoke to some first responders on what they saw that day.
I just remember scanning the whole area and thinking, this is not happening, this is not true.
Sadly, it happened there.
That morning, walking out the door, getting ready to go to shift that day.
That morning, you know, it's regular day, Thursday, and walking through the gym.
It started off early. I was actually off duty.
I could hear the phone ringing in my office over and over.
I heard the radio broadcast of a school bus accident.
Alton 214.
Go ahead.
You need to proceed to Main Street and Bryan Road for a motor vehicle accident involving a bus possibly occupied by juveniles.
My unit that had responded to that call had requested that I go assist them. So I knew it was something big.
My ears popped open and my eyes opened up.
Finally got to the office and picked up the phone, and someone just yelled from there that they needed all the coaches that were certified in CPR to get to the 5 Mile Line in Bryan Road, that there had been a bus accident.
I go directly in my personal vehicle to the scene, and what do we see is that Dr. Pepper truck on the side of the road, and then the bus plummeted into the caliche pit.
You know, and looked down, and I just froze when I saw the bus.
Laying on its side, probably in about 6 to 8 feet of water.
You could see the yellow or the color. I could see Mission, CISD on it, the side.
Just seeing the upper skin of the bus, or the side of the skin of the bus, was horrific. They were going through the windows of the bus and extracting them through those windows and either having them sitting or standing on the side of the bus.
We also were separating the more severe or seriously injured from those that were not.
There was a little air launch area up on the west side of that caliche pit that we were able to put some boats in there and retrieve some of the students.
They had already pulled out a couple of bodies because I saw 2 that were covered, and a priest was with them.
Mothers were crying, there was a lot of yelling, tensions were high.
I remember the chaos of that day. I remember the loss of that day, and that is something I'll never forget.
I had one of my students come up to me and said, "Coach, my little sister, we can't find her. She's not on the list that she's not on the list that she went to the hospital. I've got to go down there. My mom needs to know. We need to know." I saw him come back up, and I knew he found his sister. It was a Thursday, so Friday night football, that was all postponed. And, we're at the McAllen Stadium, and Cito Ochoa, who was our announcer, they allowed him to have a moment, to recognize these kids. He did, and each one of the football booster club members was holding a balloon about the size of a beach ball. They were huge balloons, and they were white. As they called the name, they released the balloon. It's just pretty amazing, because they didn't fly off, They kind of just hovered around, and they went through all 21 names, and they kind of hovered around and got to the middle, over the 50-yard line within the stadium. And then they all just, went off together.
I don't think the community of Alton ever wanted to be known for a bus accident. Sadly, it happened there.
Some of those students that were involved in that school bus made something of themselves. And I think that is important, that they didn't allow that to impact them. They looked forward instead of looking back. And I think it was good for the community.
For those that did not survive, they are in our hearts, and there's plenty of people that remember them.
This did happen. It happened to our kids at Mission High School, and the whole community, not only the city of Mission, but the whole Rio Grande Valley.
Coming up after the crash came the lawsuits, and the man who drove the Dr. Pepper truck now facing 21 counts of negligent homicide. What the jury decided his fate after hearing his arguments, that's after the break.
I'm Sydney Hernandez, CBS 4 Evening News Anchor. Broadcasting live is the most fun I ever have because I get to hug my viewers and talk to them and get to know them on a personal level. And for me, that's something that I can never beat.
CBS 4 News, working for you. Working for you. CBS 4 News has been recognized with the prestigious Regional Edward R. Murrow Award for CBS 4 Investigates a Questionable Call. Working every day to bring you award-winning journalism. CBS 4 News, working for you.
Choose from over 40 sleek new Mazda CX-50s for only $309 per month. Or save with an incredible 0% APR for up to 36 months. When you shop Bert Ogden Mazda Mission and Edinburgh, we shop the competition so you don't have to.
This is Texas toast. This is not. This is a truck. This is not. And this man is fighting to secure our border. This man is not. Colin Allred votes for open borders again and again. He even voted against deporting illegal aliens who assault police officers. This man is fighting for Texas. This man...
They build that racist wall. My generation is the one that will tear it down.
I'm Ted Cruz, and I approve this message.
Get your gorgeous new 20 to 50-acre recreational and hunting ranch, loaded with wildlife and close to San Antonio. On sale from just $199.9. Visit 1796ranches.com. 1796ranches.com.
Food for Thought is back, and you don't have to wait to see what's que rico.
Cheered up, like I'm all cheered up also.
And what's que asco.
You're gonna eat this?
Check it out right now on the website that's always working for you. That's valleycentral.com.
Got a 1054. Valley crimes still unsolved years later.
-1019.
Visit valleycentral.com to see if your lead can help solve the case.
Got a 1054.
RGV True Crime Series exclusively on valleycentral.com.
Working for you in our community. Asking tough questions.
Let's go.
Getting you answers. No one else is working harder for you. CBS 4 News, working for you.
23-880-207.
We found Americans from all over who know their number.
1116 514.
What are they talking about? It's their cable channel number.
We went to joinnn.com
for America's fastest growing cable news network.
I love Chris Cullen.
News Nation.
I wanted something where I felt like I was getting news and not have somebody tell me what I'm supposed to think.
Just go to joinnn.com or type News Nation on your live streaming service. News Nation, news for all America.
Embrace what makes you different with a 2025 Mazda 3 hatchback for only $319 per month. Or save with a 2.9% APR for up to 36 months. When you shop Bert Ogden Mazda Mission and Edinburgh, we shop the competition so you don't have to.
In the days and weeks following this crash, not only were the victims' families and the survivors mourning this great loss, it also started a massive wave of litigation. Our Frank McCaffrey spoke to one lawyer who got some of those settlements for those families, and as well as other survivors represented by other lawyers who say that did more harm than good.
It was such a devastating accident that caused so much damage to so many families that it got out into the news immediately. Not as fast as what we would know today. By that time, we already had a very reputable reputation.
He represented clients who had injured family members. He worked to assist the family psychologically while they went through emotional times and educate them on the legal process. Reyna says it was not a difficult case from the liability side. Different types of settlements were won, but there was an issue.
You know, these were very poor families, very impoverished. And the question becomes is, because they were poor, do these families, do these children have their values less in life?
We spoke to two survivors of the crash whose families were not represented by Reyna. They received a large settlement amount. They say what they received as a settlement was not as much of a blessing as some might think it would be. Jones says she received more comments that were tough to hear.
Oh, you were in the bus accident. You have money. You in this, and it was like you were put in a position where it wasn't it wasn't a good thing to be in that accident, you know, because you were kind of seen as someone now who went through a lawsuit and you have money.
Alexander Reese De Leon believes he would have been in jail or dead had he not received his settlement money to build a better life. But there was more he was expecting. He believes the beverage company involved owes him a scholarship.
It's in the disclosure of your contract when you do with a settlement with a lawyer. They promised her, and it even came out in the news that they were giving everybody a scholarship.
And you never saw it?
No.
And
not seen anybody else get it. I've never heard anybody say or mention it.
Though Reyna did not represent either Reese De Leon or Jones, he remembers hearing claims that other lawyers took advantage of poor clients.
It's totally wrong. That's totally wrong. But the truth of the matter is, all the lawyers here in the Valley are good lawyers, good people. We care. And that somebody takes advantage of them, that's not true.
Regardless of these legalities or payouts, the survivors want us all to keep the memories of their classmates who died in the crash alive.
I give them a big hug, all of them. Come on, just hug. Big hug, all of them. Even if I don't know you, all of you. Just hug, pray. Sorry it happened, but a big hug, even spiritually.
The driver of the Dr. Pepper truck was known as Ruben Bettis, and at the time of the crash, he was just 26 years old. Just a month later, he was charged with 21 counts of negligent homicide. Fast forward to 1993, after a trial that lasted just over 2 weeks, Bettis was found not guilty on all counts. While prosecutors and the NTSB argued that Bettis was not paying attention as he approached the intersection, Bettis' lawyers argued that the brakes on his truck failed and the crash was not his fault. We reached out to Bettis' family to hear from them, but they declined to comment. We also reached out to Valley Coca-Cola for a statement after 35 years, but we did not get a response. Coming up, how the crash made it safer for students to ride school buses today and how new technology is helping.
Get huge Bird Ogden model year-end savings now on Kias in Mission. Lease a new 2024 Kia Sportage for just $239 a month. Plus, get the Kia 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. We shop the competition so you don't have to at Bird Ogden Kia in Mission.
There's no barbecue in the world that's as good as Texas barbecue. And there's no Texas barbecue like Ace's Barbecue. We slow smoke our meats daily to deliver mouth-watering Texas barbecue platters. Ace's combines barbecue and Tex-Mex for mouth-watering favorites like brisket enchiladas, brisket nachos, and our massive botana platters. We take pride in our food and our service as well as our community. Think Ace's Barbecue for your special occasions and fundraising opportunities. Stop in on Mondays and enjoy our complimentary peach cobbler. There's no barbecue like Ace's Barbecue. It's barbecue done right.
Trucks, and more trucks. Truck Month is on all month long at Tipton Ford. Take $10,000 off MSRP on the all-new redesigned 2024 Ford F-150. Or take $10,000 off MSRP on every new 2024 F-250 in stock. Choose from nearly 100 new F-Series trucks, plus Rangers, Mavericks, and more. Truck Month is on, but not for long. Siempre Tipton Ford.
The Texas Broadcast News Awards recognize CBS 4 News for outstanding local journalism. Best Documentary, TV Special. The award-winning CBS 4 News, working for you.
I'm Marco Ramirez. I'm the morning news anchor here at CBS 4. I was born and raised here in the Valley and grew up watching CBS 4 as a kid. So getting able to sit on the anchor desk of the station I grew up watching, not a lot of people get to say that.
CBS 4 News, working for you.
I'm Sydney Hernandez, CBS 4 Evening News Anchor. Broadcasting live is the most fun I ever have because I get to hug my viewers and talk to them and get to know them on a personal level. And for me, that's something that I can never beat.
CBS 4 News, working for you. Working for you. CBS 4 News has been recognized with the prestigious Regional Edward R. Murrow Award for CBS 4 Investigates a Questionable Call. Working every day to bring you award-winning journalism. CBS 4 News, working for you.
There is always news happening in the Valley. When you see it, share it to Valley Central. See a fire? Share it. See a wreck? Share it. See crime or corruption? Share it. Be part of the Valley Central team. If you see it, share it.
Get huge Bird Ogden model year-end savings now on Kias in Mission. Lease a new 2024 Kia Forte for just $99 a month. Plus, get the Kia 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. We shop the competition so you don't have to at Bird Ogden Kia in Mission.
Since the Alton school bus crash, many changes have been made to school buses, not only here in Texas, but across the nation. Our Jeremiah Marshall breaks down the changes that have been made in school buses today.
After the crash, many laws were passed. One of those laws was called the Aggregate Quarry and Pit Safety Act, and it was passed in 1991. This law requires guardrails to be placed around any open pits near roadways. Any person or company who violates this law can face fines up to $10,000. And there are many new requirements on how the school buses are designed to prevent the severity of the Alton bus crash from happening again. Just 2 years ago, Texas passed a law that requires all school buses to have safety belts. Currently, school buses have extra safety features like a defense braking system. This is something that slows the bus down if the driver were to come close to another vehicle. But most importantly, there are more emergency exits on the bus, and this will allow for more passengers to evacuate the bus if a crash were to happen. We spoke with Raymondville ISD to walk us through their school bus design and safety features.
And on the inside, we have eight exits in case of emergency. You got 2 on each side of the bus, the window latches, the back door, roof latches, 2 on top, and if needed, the front windshield can be kicked out in case of an emergency to exit the children.
And to add an extra layer of safety, Raymondville ISD has a school police officer accompany a school bus whenever students are being moved. School districts across the state of Texas take time each year to visit their campuses and train all students on how to evacuate a bus in case of an emergency. And of course, to see more details on these changes, you can find them on our website. That's at valleycentral.com. In studio, I'm Jeremiah Marshall.
Coming up, we speak to a mother whose son rode bus number 6 but missed the bus that day on September 21st, and she lives right down the street from where this crash happened.
When a loved one has been injured in a serious accident, there's no time to waste. Take control and hire a powerful lawyer that can move the scales of justice in your favor. Call 1-800-ZEKE-REINA.
We really needed the foundation taken care of. I was very satisfied, and they got everything taken care of. And my neighbors, they were pretty impressed. So I do recommend Aztec house leveling, and I have not seen not one crack on the wall.
Foundation problems, house cracking, need your house leveled? And we do all types of remodeling, interior, exterior. We're licensed, bonded, insured, and we give free estimates.
That's right, Dad. And remember, mi casa es su casa. We do it right the first time.
Valley Central, easy access to the news important to you. Breaking news as it happens, exclusive videos, local weather, and more. Log on today for everything happening in the 956. valleycentral.com. 956 news you can trust.
Food for Thought is back, and you don't have to wait to see what's que rico.
Cheered up, like I'm all cheered up also.
And what's que asco.
I'm gonna toss it.
You're gonna eat this? Check it out right now on the website that's always working for you. That's valleycentral.com.
Got a 1054.
Valley crimes still unsolved years later.
Negative 1019.
Visit valleycentral.com to see if your lead can help solve the case.
Got a 1054.
RGV True Crime Series exclusively on valleycentral.com.
The Texas Broadcast News Awards recognize CBS 4 News for outstanding local journalism. Best television reporter, Derek Garcia. The award-winning CBS 4 News, working for you. Working for you. In our community. Asking tough questions.
Let's go.
Getting you answers. No one else is working harder for you. CBS 4 News, working for you.
If you're the victim of a serious accident, it'll take an army of powerful lawyers and legal team to get you million-dollar results. Call 1-800-ZEKE-REINA.
The Texas Broadcast News Awards recognize CBS 4 News for outstanding local journalism. Best documentary, TV special. The award-winning CBS 4 News, working for you.
I'm Marco Ramirez. I'm the morning news anchor here at CBS 4. I was born and raised here in the Valley and grew up watching CBS 4 as a kid. So getting able to sit on the anchor desk of the station I grew up watching, not a lot of people get to say that.
CBS 4 News, working for you.
Now, since this tragedy, 35 years later, not only has this memorial served as remembrance to the 21 young lives that were lost, but it also serves as a constant reminder to what happened here for those who live right down the street here. Our Daisy Martinez spoke to one mother who says this crash has left a lasting impact on her life to this day.
Olga Puente lives at 1510 Main Avenue in Alton. This has been her home for the past 50 years. It's just yards from the crash site. Her son Marco Antonio Puente was 14 at the time and a student at Mission High School. He too rode bus 6 to get to school every day.
Sí, era la ruta donde se iba, siempre.
But on that day, a twist of fate had other plans.
Se fueron en el carro de su papá. Fueron a dejar a su papá al trabajo y de allá se pasaron para la escuela.
A random change in morning routine, Olga says, spared her son's life.
Gracias a Diosito lindo que no iba allí.
Olga tells us she was at work at the nearby Levi's factory when they got word of the bus crash. Many parents rushed out. Word also quickly spread throughout town. Olga knew her son had not gone on the bus that morning, but her in-laws and sister didn't. They rushed to the scene on foot, walking for miles, going through blocked-off streets, thinking the worst.
Sí, mi suegro se trajo un mecate y sacó. Y mi suegro estaba preguntando por mi hijo, porque sabía que en eso. Y entonces sacó un amigo de mi hijo y le dijo, no, Marcos no venía con nosotros, no se subió en el bus.
Her son was alive, but 21 others were not. Like many in town, Olga wasn't immune to the grief. And till this day, she says she feels the children's presence all around her.
Me sentí muy mal, mija, muy mal. Es demasiado porque todavía lo siento bastante, porque aquí desde que pasó esto, hay ruidos en mi casa. Hay ruidos. Y se cierra una puerta o se abre algo. Pero yo ya estoy impuesta. Son los niños. Porque ahorita, para este mes que viene ya, que septiembre empezando, comienzan más los movimientos.
And even now, 35 years later, Olga says it's something she and her son don't ever talk about. It's just too painful. But she knows keeping quiet about it doesn't erase the fact that it happened.
Que parece que ayer fue esto, ¿me entiendes? No se olvida, nomás, pues, tú sabes, con el dolor, viviendo con el dolor que pasó la pobre gente, ¿me entiendes? Y te pones a pensar y no lo puedes creer cómo puede estar pasando cada año y no, ¿me entiendes? No recuerde y recuerde.
It's always there, in the back of her mind and down the road, marked by the 21 crosses.
The families of the 21 still come out here to this day to replace the ribbons here on these crosses. This happens every year during Mission High's homecoming week. Now, we did ask the survivors, knowing what happened on that sunny September day, would they still get on a bus number 6? As tragic as that event was, the survivors we spoke with said they would still get on that bus simply because that crash helped them become the people they are today. And they were able to tell this story for future generations to always remember the 21.